Hi everyone, welcome to Suzan Signature Success Show. I'm so happy and blessed to announce to you that Dana Hagstrom from Mexico is here today with you. Welcome, Dana. I'm blessed to have you.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Suzanne. I'm delighted to be here.
I know that you are an amazing woman and so excited to share with all. Could you please introduce yourself? Who are you? What are you doing?
All right. Well, my name is Dana Hagstrom, and I'm a Christ follower. I'm mother to 4 children. They're all grown up, and they live in 4 different time zones. And we're in 3 different countries, and we've got an international family, you could say. And my husband and I, David is my husband, we moved to Mexico in 2016. We've been in the United States before that, always usually in the Midwest. And he was a pastor, and he came to me one night and he said, we have to work another 6 or 8 years, or we could afford to retire to Mexico this year. Well, that was sounding pretty amazing because, Iowa winters are brutal, and I was working a job that I loved. However, I was missing my husband. He was working nights and weekends, and I was not. I was working daytimes. So when he gave us that opportunity to be together, I was like, okay, let's do it. And so a year later, here we are in Mexico. So it's kind of funny when you introduced me, I was laughing to myself thinking, okay, our last name is Swedish, because his family is all from Sweden. But when you said, and we're from Mexico, that isn't a last name that you would likely hear from someone in Mexico. It would be more like Garcia or Lopez or something like that. So that's kind of a long, windy story, but that's who I am.
Thank you. For us all people to stay focused in life, to do something, it's important to know our whys. Could you share your why with us?
Well, absolutely. My why revolves around our family. And, we did move quite a ways away from most of our children. And so they are my why. When we were retired, we were trying to decide how we could serve. We weren't ready to just, be put out to pasture. And so we started our home business, and we're now coaching other home business owners to do the same thing. And so the reason we're doing that is for our children, to leave them that legacy, to have the extra spending money so that we can travel. Because we're having to go into, several different countries when we visit our kids. So that is my why, that, and of course, helping other people achieve their goals and dreams. That's always kind of a sweet spot for me too. But bottom line is just family.
Thank you. We mentioned about the why and what we are doing, and about the steps to achieve this success. We need healthy habits, successful habits. Could you share your success habits with us?
Sure. First of all, you got to eat healthy. That's huge. Get good rest, exercise. Take care of your body. When we're taking care of our bodies, everything else kind of comes together. But in general, having a plan for your day and keeping your day organized is kind of how in retirement I've enjoyed, having these healthy habits. I wasn't so healthy before we retired. We weren't eating as well. We were rushing around doing this and doing that. But living now in this country, where we have great access to fruits and vegetables, and not so much processed food that's available in the United States. So our diet has improved greatly. And when you can set your schedule the way you want to, that's beautiful too. So finding a balance is probably key for wherever you are in your life's journey.
Great example. I'm a little bit imaginary, and I imagine the life like a house, for example. And at the basement is the values as a person. Could you share your top values with us?
Okay. I think ever since I was a little girl, faith has been important to me. You know, my belief in God and my trust in my higher power. And so that's a value that is deep within me. But that kind of spreads out to other values as well. You know, I have compassion for other people. You know, I care sometimes too much. Having the integrity of making sure that what I say is true and that I don't make promises I cannot keep. I've done that before. I made a promise to my child one time that I didn't know I couldn't keep, but it turned out that it didn't turn out like I had quote unquote promised. And not only did that just really rock his world, it rocked mine too, to realize, you know, how could I have made that promise if I wasn't totally sure that it was going to come true? So that was a good lesson for me to make sure that my word is true and I am full of integrity. So those are my values.
Great. Signature success is done for a reason. We want to see the future in advance. We are visionary. And could you share with us your vision for the future? What is your signature success?
Well, David and I working with solopreneurs, helping them build businesses online, successful businesses online. We want to pay forward our success. So that's my vision, is that David and I, because we have the time, you know, and now we have the education and the experience and the expertise, but those things combined, that we're now able to help other people fulfill their life's dreams and have success in their own lives. So it's a pay it forward kind of thing.
Thank you. We are giving more power to us, and we are imagining now that we have a magic stick and we have two choices instead of three. One is we are wishing for ourselves, and the other one is changing something in the world. Could you share with us what you would love to wish for yourself and the other things what you want to change in the world?
Okay, let's see. I mean, that is a great question. And I think it's easier for me to pick what I would do for the world, for other people. So I'm going to share that one, and maybe something will come for what I want for myself. But for the world, I think I've seen so much heartache and so much struggle because of what we've all encountered this last year with COVID. And so if I could have this magic stick, I would erase COVID from the face of the earth, and everybody would, you know, be restored to their financial, wherever they were, and health will be restored. I couldn't say that all lives would be restored, but that all people will, you know, be healthy moving forward. And for personally, you know, it's hard for me. Everybody, when your birthday comes and people say, what do you want for your birthday? And you have a hard time letting them know. I think for myself, I think just having more confidence that what I'm doing is making a difference. I know that, but I need that confidence.
Great. You mentioned time. I know that is very important, but how we use our time is also important. Do you have some strategies for time management?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's one of my sweet spots because, working with, our coaching clients, it seems like over time, the common denominator has always been time. People struggle with getting everything done in a day that they want. And, when someone asked me once upon a time, what is your superpower? Or what is it that you're really good at? I didn't know. There's like, well, what do people tell you you're good at? Other people are going to see it in you before you do it yourself. And they say, people are always telling me, how do you get everything done, Nathan? You've got a full-time job, you're a pastor's wife, you have a music studio, you're trying to run a business online. I mean, how do you fit it all in? Plus kids. And so that has always been something that's come easy for me. So I put together what I call the plan strategy. And this might help you or your listeners trying to keep their time balanced, because some people work too much, some people are lazy. So how do you make it balanced? So my strategy, the plan strategy, that's actually an acronym, and the P stands for prioritize, because you have a day. We all have 24 hours. We're not going to get any more. So how do you make the most of those 24 hours? Well, you look at what you need to get done and you prioritize, and you pick 3. Pick the top 3 things that absolutely, without question, you need to get done, and write those down, and then get them done. You may have more than 3, but try to prioritize to pick the top 3. Now, L is leisure. And some people have a really hard time with leisure. They are so driven. They can't sit still for half a second. But we all need, for that time balance, to have leisure in our day. So what does that mean for you? Is that, soaking in a tub of bubbles? Is that curling up with a book? Is that just, watching some television? What is it for you that helps you relax and unwind? And then A, not number 3, A is in plan is your achievement. And I love this one because we should all be striving to learn something new every day. And what is that going to be today? It's kind of like each day we're giving an opportunity to explore our world. So fit something in, be intentional about learning. Is it reading a book that's a self-help book? Or is that listening to a podcast? Find something that will help you grow as a person, give you an achievement. Maybe it's take a course or enroll in a class. And the last one is N, and that's for neatly organized. And that's important for keeping our environments organized in some way. We can live in chaos. Some people thrive on it. Other people are, stuck by it. But think of something that you want to organize in your life and plan it, include it in your day to do it. Is that, cleaning out your desk drawer? Is that organizing a closet? Is that cleaning out the refrigerator? I mean, what task will get left behind if you don't schedule it? And if your environment is more organized, is more tidy, is neatly organized, you know that you will be more productive. So those are a couple ways that you can kind of balance, kind of do some fun things to make your scheduling your day or thinking about the things you're going to do each day a little bit more fun. Does that make sense?
Amazing. I love the plan. I know that you wrote 3 books, but for me it's important to know your what inspired you to write and publish your first book? The start of all of them. The start is important. What was that?
Okay. Well, as a child, I wrote stories all the time. My imagination ran wild, and I always told myself I wanted to be an author. And that dream kind of just went along the wayside until I was working with a life coach not too long before we retired, and she was asking me questions about, well, what sort of things that you wish that you had done that you would like to do? And writing a book came up. But the other thing that came up was being more intentional with my Bible study. I was feeling like, as a pastor's wife, I should be the one that's reading my Bible all the time, right? But I was busy and I was hit or miss with when I would actually pick up the Bible and spend time with God. And I didn't want that for me anymore. And so the coach asked me, she said, well, how do you think you could fix that? And I said, well, I can write. That was my go-to answer. I can write. I can journal about what I'm reading. I can pray. I can write it all out. She's like, okay, do it. So I went out and got some notebooks and I started writing. I started with the book of Psalms and I penned my way all the way through the book of Psalms. That's 150 verses. So that was at least 150 days, but some Psalms were long. So I had to take more than a couple days. But what started as like once a week became a couple times a week. And then pretty soon I was writing every day. And so I reached my goal. It was amazing. And then I had journals and journals and journals of writing and decided to turn those into a blog so that I would have it online and other people could benefit from it as well. And then David said, my husband, why don't we publish these? Why don't we publish these? Like, oh, there's my dream come true. So the first book was Psalms, and it was such a joy. And when my daughter, I sent copies to all the kids for Christmas that first year, and they didn't know I was doing this. And they got their books and they're like, Mom, I didn't know you wrote a book. So that was kind of a joyful moment too.
Thank you for doing that and keep doing it. And now you are taking us with you to your journey. And could you share with the audience how the audience can reach out to you?
Okay. Well, I have a social media presence on pretty much all of the platforms. So just search for my name. But we also, my husband and I, we have a website for anybody that's building a business online. There's some great resources there, great articles. That's David, the letter N, Dana.com. So davidndana.com. And if anyone's curious to check out my devotional blog, that is be-still.org. The word be, be-still.org.
Thank you, Dana, for being here with me and all.
Well, thank you for having me.